Hello everybody, day 19 of shelter, and I thought it a good time for us to delve into looking at what's happening for us when we're not making contact with our emotions, the places we go, and what it actually does in our relationships. So today our focus is on the drama triangle. And it is the Karpman Drama Triangle, quite a well-known model, lots of beautiful theory behind it, and if you're keen to read up about it, that is where you'll find it. Alternatively, if you're wanting a little bit more info, please just send me a message and I'll send you a document that will give you an enormous amount of insight. I don't have the time to unpack it all here today. I'm hoping to at least nudge you into thinking about what your relationships look like and possibly what role you might be taking up in the drama triangle, if you are even in the drama triangle. So first and foremost, we have three roles, very, very important. We have the rescuer, we have the victim, and we have the persecutor. Now, the roll of the dice to start playing the game is in a victim position or the rescuer. So either one of those positions gives you a free ticket into playing the game. So something you want to be aware of is trying to determine what your dominant role is. The truth is, when you're in this game, you actually play all three roles, but there will always be a dominant role that you go back to. And very often you'll find yourself in different roles with different people in your life. And I would love for you to be able to look at those that are very close to you, because you often find that those that are close to you are the ones that you're playing the game with. So there's some important information around these roles, because these roles are only played from a place of neediness. In other words, you play this game to have your needs fulfilled. Okay, so that's the key here. And the need for a rescuer is acceptance. They need and rescue others to feel valued. Okay, so it's got a lot to do with their levels of unworthiness and insecurity within themselves. And in fact, every one of these positions carries that same sort of unworthiness, and we just show up in different ways that work for us. The victim is looking for love, and the persecutor is looking for power. Now, there's a motto associated with each one of these. The motto for the rescuer is "I'm good." The motto for the victim is "I'm blameless." And the motto for the persecutor is "I'm right." That already should give you a really good indication as to where you might find yourself. So let's look at this game and let's look at what are the tendencies and what are the types of things behaviorally that we might step into. So very typically, a rescuer, we've spoken about the insecurity and the unworthiness, will look at negative controlling. So they will step into controlling tendencies, but normally in a negative way. They will often give unwanted advice, and they are very, very good problem solvers. The problem is that they never really stop long enough to check what's going on in their own lives. So often their lives are very much in disarray, and everybody else around them's lives are very much on track. You will often find a rescuer surrounds themselves with victims because of the need that is being fulfilled. So they will have a lot of people that are coming to them for help, for advice, for support, and they will obviously feed off that. Why they do that is because it makes them feel like the hero of the day, and it's a place that keeps their worthiness functioning. Then we move down to the victim, and we've said already that the victim is looking for love. So very much the victim will show up as being the helpless one. And they are actually quite acceptable of being treated badly by people. They can be depressed, quite fearful in the way that they show up and handle life, and also look for answers from others. One of the biggest mark of knowing that you're a victim, or if there are others around you that are taking up this role, is that they take absolutely no responsibility for their behavior or outcomes of goals and things that they're wanting to change in their lives. And there's two ways of us picking up a victim, and we pick it up in language. The first one is called a pathetic victim. And the pathetic victim is very much, it's a woe is me type language. So it's, I'm sick, I'm tired, I'm depressed, I'm exhausted. And yeah, so it's woe is me language. Then you've got the angry victim, okay? And this can often be misconstrued as the persecutor because it's quite tough language, and it's not language that you would associate with a victim. And the angry victim will say things like, that's it, I'm done, I've drawn the line, nobody's going to do that to me again. And it's quite tough, but the reason you know that they're not a persecutor is that nothing changes in their lives. They're still singing the same song 2, 4, 6, 8 years down the line. Why? Because they've taken no responsibility or accountability for the situation. Then we've got the persecutor. And the persecutor, we already said, is looking for power. They have this motto of, I'm right. And they show up with tendencies where they do a lot of finger pointing, fault finding. They've got a lot of anger outbursts. They claim perfection. They judge and criticize very, very easily. And they discount others' feelings, value, and dignity. Now, this game, much like everything else that we've been unpacking for you, has a name. And it's really important that we give it a name. Why? Because we can take back and understand and also settle things within us when we actually understand what it is that we're dealing with. And this game is called codependency. And it is steeped in manipulation and control. Now, something very, very important that you want to take into consideration are the emotions around this game. Because if you are not engaging with your emotions, if you're denying and suppressing your emotion, you can bet your bottom dollar you are playing in this drama triangle. So that is a key for you. What are some of the emotions and the things that are coming up for you that will determine also perhaps where you're playing? So the first one here I want you to become aware of is this word shame. Now, shame is not something any of us want to be associated with, but the truth is we all have it. It's a universal thing in us. It's, you know, we're not good enough, strong enough, beautiful enough, intelligent enough, whatever enough. So this is attached to our identity, okay? And then we've got the victim, and the victim often has emotions that are associated with blame. So we know that blame is simply a discharge of internal pain, and very often they're not making contact with that emotion which is creating the pain, and all they want to do is get rid of it. Is almost like vomit on somebody else to get rid of it. So watch for blaming, because that will give you a very, very good indication as to what's going on for you there. And then of course here we've got guilt, and guilt is actually a wonderful emotion because it's giving us a lot of insight as to what's going on for us. When we are feeling guilty, you can know for sure that it's a hook that you're being pulled in. You know, when you're feeling bad, sad, mad, whatever it is. And the truth is that whichever role you find yourself in terms of your dominant role, you will be moving around. So we end up actually playing in each one of these positions. So, you know, you could be rescuing, and once you've rescued, you could go into a place of woe is me because this person doesn't actually give me any approval, or they don't say thank you, or they just sit around in their laurels and don't do anything. So you also go into a victim sort of mentality where you're complaining about things. And then here you go straight into, you better do something about this, and you start to go into the persecutor role. So I can give you lots and lots of examples, but I don't have the capacity time-wise. I don't want to keep you too busy. So if you want to understand a little bit more about this, please do let me know. So very, very important. People say to me, Sharon, okay, so now I understand how this game works, but how on earth do I get out of it? Very, very easily. When I say easily, with new awareness and understanding where your needs are, settling yourself in terms of who you are, what drives you to be here. Because the truth is that we'll always, if you're a rescuer, you'll always be a helpful, caring person. You just won't do it from a place of neediness any longer. You will step in and support and love, ask good questions, ask for permission to speak into somebody's life, not necessarily just offer it. And so you're hearing that there's a healthy side to it, where you would step in and follow through. And here, even in the persecutor role, you would be able to walk in your own power and authority, but know that others too can be powerful. And here, that vulnerability, to step into vulnerability and to also have a voice, to know that you have an opinion and that you have needs that can be met and that you can voice your opinion. So that's just in brief. So how do we get out of here? You need to be okay feeling the guilt. So what does that actually mean? It doesn't mean that you need to go into a persecutor position and start fighting and screaming and pointing fingers and shouting. All you need to do is to be able to step out feeling the guilt. Because the problem is, if you don't, and it's a hook for you, and somebody or something is making you feel guilty about a situation, you're going to dive in and rescue them all over again. And then, of course, the cycle continues. So the way that you stay out of here is to have really good, healthy boundaries. And that is to be able to determine what's okay and what's not okay. And once you've pinned down who you are, what you need, what that looks like with all of your relationships, and you're able to articulate that, you will find that you will spend a lot less time in this drama triangle. So if that is helpful, please let me know. And if you need a little bit more around this, let me know, and we can maybe delve into it a little bit in the last few days. I think I've got 3 more days with you in our 21 days of shelter. So please let me know what you need me to share and how and what you need from this process. Speak to me, and I can at least show up and support in ways that are meaningful for you. Have a super rest of your day.